Good morning and welcome to the Core Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. And this morning's conversation and topic is second chances and how they give us an opportunity for a reset and to have a fresh start. What a grace and gift that is. So before we get started, let's take a minute or two to get present. And we'll start by taking a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine clean, crisp oxygen flooding your lungs, flowing into your bloodstream, nourishing all your cells, all your organs, bringing vital life energy to your body and being. And as you exhale, exhale any tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose and hold it. This time, imagine brilliant, bright light lighting you up from the inside out, illuminating, electrifying, and energizing all your cells, all your molecules, all your electrons, creating a brilliant beam of light and energy from your heart out into the world. And as you exhale, exhale any remaining tension, stress, negativity, fatigue. And now let's press our palms together and vigorously rub your hands together. Feel the friction, the temperature, the pressure, the motion, and the tickling and tingling when you stop. And allow all those sensations to bring you present right here, right now, into this remarkable physical form that enables you to experience life. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Rosalind. Welcome. Great to be here with you this morning, and welcome to everybody else who's joining us. Today, we're talking about second chances. And a lot of times in life, there are situations that occur where we don't get a second chance. And when we do, that can be such a gift of grace and renewal. And this topic came about because last night I was on my way to, good morning, Kimberly, welcome. So good to have you here with us this morning. We're talking about second chances and how crisis can also often, or an averted crisis can provide us with just a whole new opportunity and renewal. And so what happened last night was I was on my way to a birthday dinner celebration for my nephew, and I was driving and I was in where I was supposed to be, and it was emerging like a turnoff, and this big truck came from the left lane to go into this right lane where they weren't supposed to be. And I've never seen a truck as big as this truck. I mean, it was like a super long tractor trailer kind of massive truck. And I drive a Mini Cooper. So, and this thing, like, he was pushing me out, and honestly, I think there might have been an inch that saved me from getting hit by this guy coming up on the driver's side. And I truly thought, okay, this is it. I'm done. And in that moment, it was so interesting to be facing, okay, this is it right here, right now. And then I managed to stop, and he kept going by me, and it was on a little bit of an angle, and I was sure it was a miracle that he didn't clip the driver's side off my car. And in one respect, facing that moment, it was really interesting, actually, because facing that moment, there was sort of an acceptance, like, okay, this is it. And afterwards, when I've had close calls in the past, which I have, there was a lot of emotional or physiological shaking and uh, coming back from it. And it was so interesting to find that I wasn't in that state. I wasn't um, physically overwhelmed by this. I was a little bit more mentally like, oh my gosh, that was really close. But it didn't overtake me the way that a situation like that or similar to that in the past may have. But anyway, um, the thing that it makes me think about is when we get second chances, when we get an opportunity, where something looks like it's terminal or irreconcilable or um, creating an outcome that we can't avoid, and that is like a devastating type outcome, and it's averted somehow. There's a opportunity there for a reset. Kimberly says miracles. Kimberly, honestly, I think it was a miracle. I was like, okay, well, I guess I've got stuff to do here still, because there's no way that thing didn't just shred my car. It was so close. I just don't know how I'm still here to talk about it, frankly, but that kind of circumstance, and it can be an illness, it can be um a potential encounter that could be really, really devastating. When we have the opportunity, when these kinds of crises get averted, it gives us an opportunity to be in a space of gratitude and grace and appreciation. And it also gives us an opportunity to revisit, a direction, perhaps. I don't know that this is necessarily making me look at my life in a different way, or my choices. It's maybe to say, okay, well, I'm still here. I've still got stuff to do. What's up around that? How maybe can I further that, perhaps? But I know that, for instance, one of our regulars here has experienced a heart attack and came back from that, and now is present to a whole new lease on life. That it's a second chance, essentially, to rework ourselves, to restart ourselves. And the truth is that we can create, I was thinking of new beginnings as the title for today's topic. We can create a new beginning at any moment. And we can use any reason for that, or no reason at all, to create a new beginning, to give ourselves permission. And so years and years ago, and I know I've shared this before, at one point, I just decided I was going to commit suicide. I had it. And I decided where I was going to do it. And I had this moment of grace that allowed me to step back and say, whoa, girl, maybe you need to get some help. And I did. And I also used that occasion, that awareness, that moment, that choice point as a pivotal point in my life to give myself permission to choose for myself, to start over, to make choices that better served me. And that's when I gave myself permission to go back to school for computer animation and multimedia, which, sparked a light in me at that time. And there weren't very many things that sparked a light. And I gave myself permission to do that because I figured, well, here I was ready to kill myself. So, if I'm here, I might as well live the life I want to live and see what happens. So Rosalind says, your re-entry filled with gratitude and perhaps bravery. I'm curious what virtues surrounded your re-entry. Ooh, that's such a rich question, Rosalind. I think that what arose for me is my work's not done yet. Like there's more for me to do here. I guess I'm meant to stick around to become whatever. Like I'm not finished yet. Somebody wants me here still, is what it felt like to me, as far as and if you're saying virtues, like what energies, like the virtues, the spirits, the guides and whatever, maybe. The biggest thing for me was, I guess there's more to do here. Kimberly says, so thankful you're sharing this and that you're here this morning. I'm thankful I'm here this morning too, Kimberly. Thank you. One of the things I thought is how awful, awful, awful that would be. Like as it was happening, like how I didn't want to do that to my nephew. That would be a horrible, horrible thing to be coming to his birthday dinner and to have that be the end of me. It would have been a horrible thing for him to have to live with. And I didn't want that to happen. That was very much present for me, is like, no, don't do this to him. Rosalind says, yes, energies. So not being done, more to do. Yeah. That's what showed up for me. And maybe there's, it's interesting because when we talk about there's more to do, second chances to do what, right? Second chance for what? To hopefully be more of who we are. But yeah, there are times when I'm not so clear what I'm here to do. And that there's a longing for this life that I envision moving into still. And there's the contrast between the moment that we're in and the longing of our souls for fulfillment in other areas too. So, I have this vision of having my little house that I built, and goats and chickens and maybe a horse, and a awesome garden, and friends to be sharing food with, and, living in community. And, I have this vision that is calling me in terms of lifestyle, calling from my heart. And there's um the present moment, the timing, right? Like, not, it's just not right timing yet. And so there's the balance of patience and impatience, right? And like, just hoping to be a contribution, right, while I'm here, to be um in alignment. So I think that that's a wish for so many of us, when we have the opportunity to reset, like when there's a reset button. It's kind of like, there's not a fuse, well, I don't know if it's a fuse box, a switch box, a breaker switch, I guess. Where I live, it's wired from years and years ago. So um it's like a combination lock with the electricity, where I have to turn something off in one room to turn something on in the other. And so it often just flips the breaker, and I have to go down into the basement and switch it back on. And I think that that's kind of what I'm talking about, like, where the energy goes off and you have to switch it back on manually, and give it a reboot. And I think that these close calls and second chances that we get are an opportunity for gratitude and presencing ourselves to, like, okay, what am I doing? What am I up to? Kimberly says, you help many with your wisdom and sharing. You help many. Your wisdom and sharing touches my soul. You have a bright light inside of you that helps others. I appreciate you. Sending hugs. Kimberly, thank you so much. That's deeply appreciated. Deeply appreciated. And we all go through I can't say that I'm going through a dark night of the soul. It's not, thankfully. I've done that a lot in my life, and at this moment, that's not what is present. And maybe it's sort of a feeling like there's a little bit of a twilight, like there's a little bit of a um, you know waiting for the sunrise a little bit, and I think we can use any situation as an opportunity to catalyze ourselves. So maybe there's a way that I can use this really close call to make meaning that supports me, that acts as a catalyst. And I think that I'm saying that so that you too can recognize that at any moment we can use anything. Like, there are times when I trip and don't fall, and I'm just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. I didn't fall, because I have had a couple pretty intense spills, like one where I'm pretty sure I gave myself a concussion, but I definitely got a black eye, fell headfirst on the cement. And, so when I trip and don't fall, it's like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, okay, good. So that is a momentary neurological reset to into appreciation, having having had that near miss. I mean, it doesn't have to be a life-threatening situation that we use to allow ourselves to reset. It often takes a crisis. It often takes something super dramatic to make us redirect or to find renewal. And what if we didn't have to have it be such an extreme before we were willing to pay attention? So I coach the folks that I work with to listen to the whispers of their soul, because what'll happen is it starts in a whisper, like this is an important thing to do or a direction to go or whatever. It starts in a whisper. And if you don't listen, it gets louder. And if you don't listen, it gets louder. And then eventually what'll happen is you'll be given no choice in some way or another. And one of the places that I see that a lot is with folks that are just pushing too hard. They're pushing. Their body is saying enough. Hey, you need a break. Hey, you need a break. Hey, you need a break, until finally, kabang, you get clobbered with an illness or something that just takes you out, and you have no choice but to rest and relax, or your body is saying, slow down, and you don't pay attention, and then something happens that slows you down. And I think that I've experienced that enough in the past that when I get those messages, I listen. Sometimes it's like, just rest, and I will spend a day in bed, literally, when I'm not sick. And that way I don't get sick, because I've taken care of myself and I've listened and given myself what I needed on the way, so that I didn't have to escalate. The whole thing didn't have to escalate to a point of crisis. And when we don't pay attention, we end up paying the piper. Like, it's a matter of being conscious. So Rosalind says, experiences that can accelerate soul journey. Perhaps slowing down is an experience we can cultivate regularly. 100%, 100%, Rosalind. I mean, we're in a culture that it's all about more efficiency, more productivity, more possessions, more money, more everything, and faster and accelerated and efficiency. I said that, but yeah, so slowing down, it may seem counterintuitive, but oftentimes, in order to get more done, we get to slow down, to get done the things that are calling to be done, that are, most important, to be most effective. Sometimes it means taking a beat. Kimberly says, I do this too. I'm not sure which the do this too is. Maybe the gratitude for crises averted. Yeah, I think that we do have the opportunity in any given moment to reset, like to recalibrate, recalculate, refocus. And I don't know that we use those opportunities. I don't know that I use those opportunities to their greatest potential. There's the opportunity in any given moment for a new beginning. And when we give ourselves permission to listen, to respond to the callings of our soul, the song of our soul, the whispers, before they become shouts and demands, to go from request to demand to no choice. These so having this conversation, I just want you to know, is a gift to me, to give me an opportunity to reflect a bit, to say, okay, so what's the opportunity that I can explore now as a result of this? What's the opening that I can create or allow as a result of this? I can make it meaningless too. I could have it be incidental. We are meaning making machines. And the thing is that mostly the meaning we make about things is not something that we consciously engage in. It's just like an automatic programmed kind of response that we attribute meaning to things without any awareness about it. And I've often said it's really important to curate your story so that it supports you in a positive and powerful way. And so this is an opportunity, like this is good fodder to make a good story, right? And to make a good meaning. Here I made it mean, well, I guess I've got more to do here. And maybe it's an opportunity to look at, well, what am I doing? And how is that aligned? And I'm not just talking about me, but you have the same opportunity in any given moment. We tend not to do that unless we're incited to do that. So anyway, incite yourself is the invitation for today. So I think that's it for this morning. I'm so grateful to be here with you. And I so appreciate you and your insights and your caring and your authenticity. And until next time, I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection. And I go live here each weekday morning on the Enlightened World Network Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I invite you to, at 9 a.m. Eastern. Let's see. Rosalind says, I'm happy you're here and that you're able to continue your work. I still would like to visit you in Pátzcuaro. I'm still trying to get things going, seeing what happens with Pátzcuaro. That would be awesome, Rosalind. And Kimberly says, love, love, love. Thank you all. And I encourage you to check out the other awesome programming on Enlightened World Network and Enlightened World Living. And until next time, so much appreciation to you and so much.